Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura Vosani from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in User Experience Psychology, a master in collaboration with Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Don't forget to write your question on the dedicated Q&A box that you can find below. Let me introduce our speakers of today. We have Venanzio Arquilla, the Scientific Director of the Master, and Davide Genco, our Didactic Coordinator. Before leaving the floor to the faculty, I would like to introduce POLI.design new positioning. The claim "Unlock Your Design Energy" means our commitment to recognize and enhancing the unique potential and differences of each student. We aim to nurture personal aptitudes and inclinations, offering a supportive environment that empowers students to become professionals, ready to assume leadership roles and tackle complex challenges. Of course, each master unlock a specific energy. So, so I will leave the floor to the faculty.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, and I'm really happy to, let's say, unlock this new way to present the master. That to me it's interesting. So we are launching the fifth edition. This master is in POLI.design one of the most multidisciplinary, because it's a master mixed in between design and psychology, and is coordinated by POLI.design and Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. The aims of the master is exactly the ones of connecting the dots in between design and psychology to give to designer a better way to understand the user and a more proficient and qualitative analysis element and processes that derives from the psychological background, and vice versa. This is the master that will give to the psychologists some practical tools and coherent design processes and methods that will unlock their potential in terms of creativity and also professional skills to spend in a different position. This master has a capability that is the ones that focus on the user needs and create modern and digital integrated experiences. One of the main mistakes generally user takes is the fact that they think that UX is only applied to app, and this is not real. So in this master we discuss about event, in this master we discuss about architecture, product and systems, because we use the approach of the user experience, a human-centered design approach, to give to the students this capability and broader capability to unlock is now the topic, and I need to change, but to overcome the barriers about the standard design procedures and also the psychological point of view. So this is a bridge in between two different cultures that will create a new profile. And this profile is a mixed profile in which UX, interaction design, usability, but also user research and writing, UX writing and other field of design are investigated with a specific idea. Every student has his own background when they take this master, and we will work on this background, valorizing and unlocking the real potential of each student, giving them the opportunity to not be, let's say, in a certain way, integrated in a precise profile, but having a general and qualitative approach that will follow and valorize their cultural background, the previous cultural background. The master will start in January 2025 in this case. The classroom will be controlled in number. We will have a classroom that is 25-30 people, because we really, let's say, appreciate the interaction that we will take in between the faculty member and the students, but also in collaboration with the company partner that will be part of the master. The master will be mixed in between also the location. So the theoretical lecture will be held in Cattolica University, and the practical workshop will be held here in POLI.design. The courses will be fully in presence and will be, let's say, full-time equivalent master, about 1,500 hours, and this is exactly a process that for us is important to acquire the necessary knowledge that gives the students the opportunity to mix these two cultures. For this reason, we have two scientific directors. So one is me, Venanzio Arquilla, and the other one is Professor Andrea Gaggioli, coming from Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. And also we have two let's say, didactic coordinator. One is Davide Genco, that will follow during the presentation, and the other one is Sofia Scatena. Sofia Scatena comes from Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, but she also has an important role into the master board, because she's responsible for the placement and let's say the employability of the students and the customization of the teaching profile. So the idea of this master is bridging different culture and competencies. So the master is oriented to practice, so every student will learn a lot of new things during the master, integrating these two disciplines, but also practicing into project. This will give to all the students the opportunity to create their own portfolio, and this is fundamental, because if they want to act after the master as a UX psychologist, they need to have a portfolio and they need to have a design oriented activity. And also the master follow an interdisciplinary approach in a native way, and also the personalization of learning is one of the main important things. So we create multidisciplinary groups in which we create this contamination not only within the faculty staff, but we create a sort of peer environment in which every students will have the opportunity to learn by themselves. So the idea is that in this master we will have a different goals to acquire. The first one is defining the problem, because this is the best option a designer have today. So the problem setting phases is fundamental. So which is the problem to solve, which is the project to develop, but also having a capability of problem solving. So we will create this double attitude, problem setting based on psychological point of view also, and problem solving adopting a design perspective. Then we will create this kind of entrepreneurship aptitude, and this is something in which we really trust, because every students and many students that attended the master in the previous fourth edition, they had the opportunity to let's say follow their dreams, also going into the company and the organization they were dreaming before entering the master, and we help this. We will also generate a sort of, let's say, corporate vision, because the master students will be part of a group, and we also have an alumni of the user experience psychology master, and this is for us interesting. But also the other goal is the ones of giving a strategic value of the proposition they will make. So they will be part of an organization, they will work in teams, but also they will have their own capability to create personal and strategic project. In relation to the modules, I will leave the floor to Davide, that will introduce the...
Thank you, Venanzio. Our training modules are structured in order to follow the product design pipeline that provides a research staging where the user basically tries to fulfill the problem solving and problem setting issues that we just discussed. Then we have a second module about practice, because of course we will need to turn such insights and such user needs into project opportunities, and eventually all these ideas that will be explored throughout prototypes and throughout other means of visualization will be evaluated with the qualitative and quantitative assessment methods provided by our partners, Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. So all of these three training modules will be a huge opportunity to see and to tackle the design challenge on a design side and on the psychological side. So on the qualitative and on the quantitative side of the project development technique. This is the structure of the hands-on activities that we schedule for the next year. because besides the theoretical lesson, we will also have practical activities, and this is why we provided 3 workshops, 2 mini workshops, and 1 final summer workshop, plus a transversal project work that will be held all throughout the first semester of lessons. And finally, last but not least, we will also have an individual project work that will be held by the single student in order to finalize their master career. These workshops will be a great opportunity to tackle actual brief from actual companies that will provide a brief, and students will have to find interesting opportunities out of that brief, even questioning the brief itself, and then visualizing their own ideas and the way such opportunities can become a tangible product, digital product or service, and in a meaningful way for the business and the user. So we will create all of these opportunities that will be mixed with theoretical lesson. And as you can see from this scheme, design and psychology will start with a common grounding lesson in order to align the mixed competencies of the classroom. But then, as soon as we approach the end of the master program, we will mix such disciplines so that they will be complementary and they will work together. And this will be a discovery path that will be very interesting for the user.
Yeah, an interesting part that have to be highlighted is that let's say the standard teaching part will be held by January to July, but after July the students will have an internship, and this is a full-time internship that is mandatory, so 400 equivalent hours, and also in parallel they need to develop their final project. This is because today we cannot work in only one project at the day. For the internship also there are different opportunities that we discuss with the students, because in our faculty or in our, let's say, students of the past edition, there were different situations in which students choose to go abroad for an internship or to stay in Italy. There are different rules that have to be defined. But if there are students, foreigners, that are interested in having an internship in Milan, it's fundamental that they will be open also to learn a bit of Italian, because this is one fundamental question in Italy, not the company in which you will have your internship, in which you can for sure work proficiently in English, but to interview the client, to know the user, you need to know a bit of Italian. And this is a matter of culture that is interesting to anticipate. If there are anyone interested on the master that won't then act with an internship in Italy, maybe needing to provide this kind of expertise. And this is connected with the skills we want to acquire, because managed by Sofia Scatena, these counseling services that we will create for the students is, let's say, a really complex but qualitative element in which every student will have different process of analysis of the learnings they will have. They will be tested before starting the master, and the end of the master they will receive a psychological profile connected with the smart capabilities they have, and this is a peculiar activity we developed together with Università Bicocca di Milano, and this is a third-party analysis, completely anonymous, that will warranty to the students the quality of the impact, but also to realize which is the learning they have during the master. But also the master board will be part of this journey, so we will have interview with the students, trying to understanding their needs and opportunity, and this is the guided placement element and the activity we do. And this will be, will start in March, April, and then will end up at the end of the learning activity. As I said before, the internship is mandatory.
Regarding the professional outcomes, attending such a master allows you a lot of opportunities in the market field of digital product and of other solutions, or even other fields such like architecture and management or other fields. Because basically we will provide outcomes for professionals who will be able to either manage the full process of developing a product or to become themselves designers that will be able to visualize the final solution. It will be depending strongly from the starting background of every student. So if you either are coming from a humanistic or psychological background or a design background, this will impact your discovery path of understanding what you are good at, and the master will allow you to understand that and will eventually connect you with companies that are searching for specific roles, because the more specific is the role, the more qualitative is the product that is delivered by such companies. So yeah, you can become a user experience designer, a UX researcher, if you will only focus on the gathering of insights and the proper structure of such insights. Or on the other hand, you can become an expert in the last mile of the design process, such like designing the actual interface you will be working on. And last but not least, even the usability analyst field can become a source of a lot of opportunities in the market field. I have to say that such professional outcomes were certified by a really high percentage of placement of our students. Let's say that we could say 100% students from our past past edition, and the fourth edition is currently running, were actually able to find a job position, and their job position was also renewed in many cases after the end of their internship, of their mandatory internship that they had to achieve in order to finalize their master program. These are some of our partners from the past editions. Some of these partners will stay as partner in the next edition, and we try for every edition to establish new partnerships so that we can also have more challenges to achieve. We work in the past in the mobility sector, in the travel sector, in the gaming, or in the work sphere sector. So the company that will eventually become our main partner will also have the chance to propose a brief challenge to our students.
Yeah, every brief we propose is a real brief and as a real client, so this is an opportunity, and also this is the way the companies select the talent they then will acquire during the internship. This is let's say a win-win situation in which students know the company and also the actors that in the company, into the organization they work for, producing innovative projects into the digital experience world. But at the same time, for the company is a way to really verify which are the real talent. But this is something that is connected with the learning process we created. So every activity is tutored by the master board and the different teacher, and this will ensure, let's say, a safe environment for the students, something that can be easily acquired.
Last but not least, to take part in the selection during this year, for the next year, of course, because the master is starting once again on January 2025. The current submission process is currently ongoing, so we invite you to become the first ones to send your application, because we already received and we already made a lot of interviews with potential candidates. So the sooner you apply, the more opportunities you have to be considered for the classroom for the next year. It will be required to upload specific data such like the CV and the motivation letter, and it's not mandatory for non-designers, but also a portfolio of your activity. Please notice that you can get all the information you need on the master program page on POLI.design's website, but in order to apply, since you will apply to Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, you need to send your request from the admission portal of Università Cattolica that you can find in our product page on our website. We just require, as a background, educational background, bachelor degree in design, architecture, engineering, psychology, communication design, and related degree. So the process implies that you will send your application with such information. We will then schedule in a few days an interview with the master board, a very quick call where we will assess your English level, and we will assess your personality and your aptitude towards joining the master. And then after this second moment of review, you will be noticed whether your application was accepted or not for our master.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation. Just want to remember you to just use the QR code to go to the page in order to start your selection. And also remember that the deadline that you can see is, of course, the last time. So please, please apply right now. So by visiting the Specializing Master page, you have also the chance to discover our promotional policy or commitment to support your study path at POLI.design and your future. Now, let's go and see the questions that you may have. So, the first question, are there any skills and applicants should have to be selected, such as some specific competence or knowledge of softwares specifically?
The real answer is not. The only one skill we want to, let's say, by our, because you have seen the attendees is wide, because we go from the humanistical perspective or humanistic perspective to the design field. So some one of them will have technical skills and one other will have different, let's say, social and psychological skill, but also economical and managerial. So from the technical point of view, it's not a problem, because in the master we will provide, let's say, the right way and path to learn tools. For sure, the newcomer in the technical field, they need to learn a bit more, they need to practice a bit more, but we will provide during the master all the necessary elements to align the classroom to a standard and a basement level. For sure, the difference in between the ones that are already designer and the ones that are newbie in design, they will be let's say evident, but at the end of the master there will be the opportunity also to overcome the standard barrier of the student. So the right answer is not. The only one compulsory let's say capability we want to have is curiosity and proactivity.
Yes, thank you. Another question. What are the strengths of user experience psychology and digital experience, and how do they compare, since they are quite similar?
Well, actually, psychology allows us as designer to have a more solid and scientific data structure to work from. Because we speak a lot about the data-driven design driven by design-driven decisions, but the way designers gather such insights, it's always, let's say, partial and incomplete. So we take such an opportunity to join our forces with psychologists to use their methodologies of qualitative elicitation to structure properly the data to start designing from. And then once such research is properly structured with both desk research, secondary research, and user research directly with users, the designer is ready to have enough insights to develop the right product that needs to be designed.
Yeah, also we can also integrate a bit in this question, because today everyone is discussing about AI that will, let's say, do things instead of designer. And in this master, people will learn how to adopt properly AI methods and AI element without avoiding the direct contact with the humans. So we design for humans, we are human and design for humans, using a tool that will be AI to provide a better and structured services, but the capability that Davide were highlighting before, so the capability to understand the real needs of the user is the ones that in this master they will acquire in real, for real user.
Great.
Yeah, right now product design is very focused on the last mile with design system, Figma, I guess that a lot of people are asking about that. We want to put back the human in the human-centered design.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It seems, there are no further questions. So I would like to thank you again for this presentation and for being here. And stay connected to find out more about POLI.design and its services.